In these general tutorials, we'll be going over the basics of your on-screen display and concepts which are universal to all instruments. How to play each individual instrument is covered in that instrument's tutorials. Once you're done here, you may want to check out the tutorials for your instrument of choice to learn more about it. This here is what we call the highway. It's where all the action happens. A vocalist's highway will look different, but just bear with me for now. For the most part, the game is all about seeing notes come down your highway and then hitting them accurately in time to the music. This meter over here is your rock meter. It represents what the crowd thinks of your performance. Hitting notes successfully impresses the crowd and raises the rock meter. And missing notes or playing notes that aren't there causes it to fall. When it's in the middle yellow part, you're doing okay. When it's up in the green, you're really wowing the audience. When it falls into the red, that means you're not doing so well. If it starts flashing red, look out. You may just be about to fail the song. When it empties all the way, you didn't quite cut it and will have to leave the stage. In a nutshell, you want to always keep the crowd happy with your performance. They came to see a great show, so give it to them and your rock meter will be topped out. This number here is your score. Naturally, you want this to be a very big number. The way you can do this is by hitting notes successfully, just like raising your rock meter. Each note you hit is worth a base amount of points, but the score you get from each note first goes through the multiplier, which is this number here. Every 10 notes in a row you hit successfully increases this multiplier by 1. Normally, it maxes out at 4. This meter is your star power meter. When it fills up higher than this line, there's enough star power to be ready to use. Using it instantly doubles your multiplier, as well as filling your rock meter faster when you hit notes. Different instruments trigger star power differently, so view the tutorial for your instrument to find out more. The better you perform a song, the more stars you'll earn once you finish it. Earning stars is how you'll make progress and unlock new stuff. This doohickey lets you know how many stars you'll be earning. As you play well, this meter will fill up. Every time it fills, that's another star waiting for you at the end of the song. You can earn 1 to 5 stars per song, depending on the quality of your performance, plus an extra star if you manage to play the whole song without missing a single note, or hitting notes that aren't there. And finally, this meter on top here represents your progress through the song. When it's full, the song's over. Pretty straightforward. Aside from the accuracy of your performance, there's another way to earn extra stars. Every song in Quickplay has a number of challenges that you can complete while playing the song. A challenge can be something like achieving a really high note streak, nailing specific sections, or using star power effectively. Each challenge is for a specific instrument or for the band as a whole. Each challenge has 3 levels associated to it, depending on how well you do the challenge: gold, platinum, and diamond. Completing challenges earns you extra stars, 1 for each level achieved, up to 3 extra for earning the diamond level. In general, you should expect to be able to get gold on medium difficulty, platinum on hard, and diamond on expert, but there are exceptions. Jump straight into a Quickplay song, and all the challenges for your instrument will be active. As you complete the levels of a challenge, you'll see icons appear above your highway, letting you know which level of which challenge you've passed. You can view your current progress on all active challenges in the pause menu. Earning stars both from your performance and from completing challenges will earn you new unlocks, so grab all the stars you can. You can view a song's challenges and the scores you've earned on them in the Star Challenge Tracker. The Star Challenge Tracker is also where you can target challenges and specific scores, but we'll cover that in the next lesson. Sometimes you want to track exactly how you're doing on one specific challenge. Fortunately, you can. View a song's Star Challenge Tracker and highlight a challenge, then select Target Play, and you'll see the magnificent challenge meter appear in-game. This is the challenge meter. The center of the meter indicates what kind of challenge it is. As you make progress towards completing the challenge, the meter will fill up. As you pass each level of the challenge, the center of the meter will indicate which level you've achieved so far. Sometimes the challenge will only apply to a specific section of a song, like a solo or a chorus. When the highway looks like this, that's how you know it's challenge time. You will only see these markers when targeting a challenge. In addition to targeting the challenge itself, there's a whole nother level targeting the scores your friends got on the challenge. When highlighting a challenge in the Star Challenge Tracker, you'll see a leaderboard of scores next to it that your friends have posted. Highlight any score and select Target Play to set your target and start playing. When you've targeted a score, you'll see the challenge meter in-game, but now it represents your progress towards the target. When it's full, that means you've reached the target and beat their score. The high score challenges are a little different because you can target a score that anyone has set, not just your friend. You can also target your own previously set scores to try and improve on them. Of course, any score that you set for a challenge is fair game for your friends to target as well. Keep one eye on your hero feed to be notified when someone targets and beats a score that you set. So you've picked the guitar. That's a popular choice. All of the guitar lessons apply to both lead and bass guitarists. For this tutorial, we'll assume you're a lead guitarist, which every guitarist seems to do anyhow. But there is one lesson for bassists specifically. As the person who drives the melody and the memorable hooks of a song, the lead guitarist is the most important member of the band. Let's talk about your instrument. It should look more or less like this. Now then, are you left or right-handed? Okay, that'll be your strumming hand. Your other hand is your fret hand and should go on the neck of the guitar. Hold the guitar like this. Pretend you're looking in a mirror. You can always change your handedness in the options menu. Adjust the length of your strap so the guitar sits at a comfortable height. Just above one's waist is typical. Don't make it too low unless you're more concerned with looking cool than playing well, which is a valid consideration. Press the green fret button when your guitar is slung just right. Now that you've got your guitar set up, let's go over its parts. As you can tell, your guitar controller is exactly like a real guitar. Well, I suppose there are a few minor differences. These are the fret buttons, which you'll use to choose notes. This is the strum bar, with which you'll play the notes. This thing is the whammy bar, which can affect how sustained notes sound. We'll get into that more later. Rotate it in a position that is comfortable, accessible, and not in the way of your strumming. All right, now you should know the front of your guitar like the back of your hand. Now for the crucial component of playing as a guitarist. As you've probably noticed, these colored circles along the strike line correspond to your colored fret buttons. The trick is to be holding the correct fret button when you strum the note as it passes the strike line. For now, you only need to use the first 3 fret buttons, green, red, and yellow. The other 2 start being used in higher difficulties. Blue is added in medium, and orange is added in hard. The higher frets, the ones closest to you, play higher pitched notes. Lower frets play lower notes. While playing, no sound is made until you press the strum bar. Because the note does not count until you strum, you can hold the fret buttons ahead of time if you like. This also means that if there is a series of the same note in a row, you don't need to lift your finger off the fret button in between notes. Here's a string of green notes. Try keeping the green fret held down as you strum these. Now let's add in the red and yellow fret buttons. Cool. That's the basics of hitting notes. Every note in the game can be played this way. There are some that can be played in additional ways. Next, we'll check out some of these different types of notes. When you see 2 or more notes together on one line like this, it's a chord. You play chords by simply holding all of the fret buttons that correspond to the notes in the chord, and only those buttons, then strumming it normally. Try hitting a few chords yourself. Excellent. On easy difficulty, you will not see these very often. On higher difficulties, you will start encountering more chords and chord types. When a note has a long tail like this, that means it's a sustained or held note. You can earn more points by holding a sustained note. Simply keep the fret button held down for the duration of the note after strumming it. If you release a sustain early, there's no penalty, but you will also not get the extra points, and it won't sound as good, so hold them as long as you can. Try it now. Excellent! Some sustains run right up to the next note, so you may have to cut it close to max out your score. That covers most of the basics of playing as a guitarist. One more important lesson remains. Aside from hitting notes correctly, you have another tool at your disposal to impress the crowd. Star power. Using star power increases the amount of rock each note you hit earns, as well as doubling your score multiplier. When your star power meter is at least half full, you can activate your star power to really impress the audience. Activate star power by tilting your guitar upwards. Every now and then you'll see star power notes that look like little stars, appropriately enough. Star power notes are grouped together into star power phrases. You must hit every note in the star power phrase to earn the star power. If you miss a single note, though, you get nothing. Earn enough star power to activate it now. Completing 2 phrases should be enough, but feel free to earn more. You can complete more star power phrases while your star power is active to extend the time it's active even further. If your star power phrase includes sustained notes, you can extract even more star power by using the whammy bar while holding the sustain. Fill up your star power meter using whammy to help you get there faster. You can whammy any sustained note, but only sustained star power notes will grant you extra star power. Star power is the key to saving yourself if you're about to fail, and also the key to earning very high scores. Well, that should be everything you need to know to get started as a lead guitarist or a bassist. Welcome to the next level of tutorials. This tutorial assumes you are comfortable playing at medium difficulty. There are a few techniques that can help you on more difficult songs. One is the high note override, meaning that when playing single notes, only the highest fret button held counts. For example, if you're holding down the green and red fret buttons when you're strumming a red note, it will still count as a single red note. Using this technique can save wear and tear on your precious fret fingers, but it's entirely up to you to do it or not. Your score is not affected either way. Try using this technique on these notes. Remember, this applies to single notes only, not chords. Next, we'll check out another way in which you can make difficult passages easier. Now to address a valuable technique for playing complex passages of single notes. Hammer-on and pull-off notes, or hopos, are a way to carry the energy from a strum note into other notes so that you don't have to strum them. Here are two single notes. Notice how the second note has a glowing center? Don't panic. You can still strum these like every note and they'll work just fine. However, if you strum the first note normally and then just press or hammer on the fret button for the second note, it will also count. No strumming required. You can continue to chain together hammer-on notes as long as you hit the note before. Try it out now. Strum the first note normally and then hammer on the second note. Using hammer-ons can make fast parts which go up the frets a lot easier. Now, let me introduce you to pull-off. A pull-off works just like a hammer-on in reverse. Strum the first note while holding both fret buttons, then release, or pull off the higher fret button. Now you try. Hammer-ons and pull-offs will often be together in a sequence. You may also see hopo chords, though not nearly as frequently. These work just as you would think. Strum the first chord, then just press the fret buttons for the following one. They are a little trickier than single-note hopos, but the same basic idea. Try them out now. Remember that all hammer-ons and pull-offs are optional and that you can strum the notes normally. For any particular passage, do what works best for you. There's one more type of note you need to know as a guitarist. Tap notes. Tap notes look semi-transparent like this. Tap notes are similar to hopos, only you don't need to strum at all. Just press the matching fret button when they cross the strike line. Try it out now. Remember, you don't need to use the strum bar at all. You can strum tap notes if you wish. Like hopos, you can play them either way with no penalty. You may often see these when you're playing something other than a guitar, like a keyboard. How can one play keyboard with a guitar, you may ask? Well, you should really just relax. This tutorial assumes you are ready to move on to hard difficulty. On hard and expert difficulties, you'll encounter the dreaded orange note. Don't worry though. With enough practice hitting them, they'll become second nature. You may think your pinky finger is going to get a workout by hitting both the blue and orange fret buttons. However, rather than stretching your pinky to the orange, move your whole hand up one fret button so that your index finger is resting on the red fret button. For any particular passage, you will want your hand to be in one position or the other, but it's safest to keep your hand in the higher position since your index finger is easier to move than your pinky. Try switching back and forth between the two positions for this exercise. first, it can feel strange to leave the comfort of your green fret button, but in the long run, it will make things much easier. If you find yourself unable to get accustomed to the new hand position, try practicing medium difficulty songs without using your pinky finger, or play bass on hard. The tails of these sustained notes extend past other notes. This is known as an extended sustain. Like regular sustains, you won't be penalized for dropping the sustain. But if you want to max out your score, here's what you do. Strum the first note normally and keep holding the fret button as you would for a regular sustain. And keep holding the first fret button down when strumming the second. Now you will get the points for holding both sustains. Try this technique now. As you can tell, it's like a combination of sustains and high note override. Don't be too concerned if you have trouble with these at first. It's more important to keep your streak going than to hold all the sustains. But if you can, it'll help boost your score. Here's a key technique that will help you nail passages of fast repeated notes. Most players start out strumming only downwards, which is just fine for slower tempo songs and easier difficulties. It's not quite so easy when encountering a long string of rapid notes like this. For this situation, it is useful to alternate your strums between up and down. This is known as alt strumming. For all intents and purposes, strumming up is the same as strumming down. So when you rapidly go back and forth, you can strum much faster than only strumming down. Listen to the drums and bass to feel the rhythm. Don't just flail away on the strum bar. Try it out now. There are many other techniques to learn and discover, such as squeezing, two-hand tapping, and the dirty strum. But I can't just tell you everything. Experiment and try your own techniques. You may find out something new. If you're playing at a hard or expert level, you may sometimes feel achy after playing for long periods. This should go without saying, but if anything starts to hurt, take a break. When trying to complete a very difficult song, warm up first. Don't jump directly into it on expert. Begin by playing a lower difficulty or easier song. Then work your way up to give your hands time to adjust. Be sure to stretch your wrists and fingers before starting. While playing a long session, take time between songs to shake out your hands and flex them. Believe it or not, maintaining a claw-like death grip on your guitar neck for hours on end is actually not that good for your hands. Anything to keep the blood flowing in your hands and fingers is good. Here are a few suggestions. None of these should hurt. If they do, stop doing it. Stretch out your fingers on both hands as far as you can. Feel yourself sending the blood to your fingertip. Flex your finger joints with this stretch. Make sure your wrists receive attention too. Don't push too hard. Do this for both hands. And also the other direction. And shake them to loosen them up. Doing this will not only prevent aches and ensure you never learn what tenosynovitis is, but will improve your finger flexibility and quickness, and make you a better player overall. This tutorial covers things specific to the bass, but for general bass play, the earlier guitar tutorials will cover the basics for both lead and bass guitar. As the person who bridges the melody and rhythm of the song and covers the low frequencies lead guitar cannot reach, the bass guitarist is the most important member of the band. In general, you'll be less likely to encounter chords when playing as a bassist, but you will see more rapid strumming of single notes. There is also one thing you will see as a bassist that a lead guitarist will not. Please ask any dedicated lead guitarist to leave the room. Are they gone? Okay. Now I can reveal the open note. Behold. See how it doesn't match up to any particular fret button? That is because open notes are strummed without holding any fret buttons. Technically speaking, they are the easiest note to play, but it can be jarring to see them mixed in with the other notes. Like other notes, open notes can be sustained too. Just leave the fret buttons alone while it's sustaining to keep it going. Give it a try now. Remember, don't press any of the fret buttons when strumming an open note. Excellent. You are truly a master of lower frequencies. So while the lead guitar may have the fancy pants solos, you have a whole other note at your disposal. You may now let any lead guitarist back into the room. As the person responsible for driving the song's rhythm and keeping the rest of the members in time, the drummer is the most important member of the band. We may need to set up in some unusual venues where roadies and permits are not always available, so you should be very familiar with setting up your gear, taking it down, and running with it under your arms. Drummers are lucky in that they get to sit down pretty much all the time. However, it is important to know how to sit properly in order to stay comfortable and effective. Pick something appropriate to sit on with plenty of room for your arms on either side of you. A short adjustable stool is best, but an armless chair or a couch will do in a pinch. Don't sit too close or too far away from the drums. Give yourself room to move, but not so much room that you have to reach to hit any particular drum. Also, make sure there are no fragile objects or people within flailing distance, in case you get carried away. If you can adjust the height of what you're sitting on, put it at a height so that your knees make an angle of 90 degrees or slightly more when your feet are flat on the floor. If your knees are higher than your thighs, your seat is too low. Adjust the height of the kit so that your knees can fit underneath. When space is tight, you can remove the drums from their stand and place them on the table or chair in front of you. Adjust your kit so that you can play comfortably and hit the green pad when you're all set. Just a couple more final adjustments. Place the kick pedal on the floor. Beneath the kit is typical, but it can be placed to one side if you find you need more room. While playing, be sure to sit up straight. Catch yourself if you start to hunch over the drums. A drum kit is a pretty big piece of gear to set up and take down, but the rewards are worth it. Now that your kit is all ready to go, we'll take a look at the sticks. A drummer's sticks should feel like extensions of the body. The best way to get this feeling without extensive surgery is to grip the sticks properly. There are many different grips one can use with drumsticks. The method we'll cover is the matched German grip. It's called matched because both hands hold the stick the same way, and German because, I guess it came from Germany. Here's a drumstick. First thing is to find the center of mass of your drumstick. It's the point where it can be balanced. By using the center of mass as the pivot point for your drumstick, physics will do most of the work for you, allowing rapid and precise drumming with less effort. You can find the center of mass on your drumsticks by sticking out your index fingers, holding the stick on top of them, and then gradually moving your fingers together. The point at which your fingers touch is roughly the center of mass. Pinch this point between your thumb and forefinger like this. Don't grab the stick with your whole hand. Just your thumb and index finger should be gripping it, while your other fingers relax. When striking the drum, use your wrist and fingers to move the stick, not your arm. It should naturally bounce back up, ready to strike the drum again. You should never be lifting the stick off the drum yourself, only pushing it down to the drum using your wrist and fingers, and then letting the rebound take care of the upstroke. Try striking a drum to see how it feels. If the stick is not rebounding well, try moving your grip up or down the stick. Hit the green pad when you've got your grip down. Now to determine your playing style. So, are you left or right-handed? Okay, that's the hand you should use to strike the hi-hat, which you'll be hitting the most often. Your other hand will hit the snare drum. You can change the orientation of the drums at any time through the options menu. This will determine whether your snare and hi-hat, the two drums you use most often, are on the right or left side. Now you should be all ready to go. In the next lesson, we'll finally be putting sticks to skins. Okay, you've got your kit set up and got your sticks held properly. It is now time for actually playing the drum. The first and most important tip is to relax. Really, being tense will only hurt your ability to keep a beat. Stay loose in order to keep a good drum rhythm. This applies not only to your grip on the sticks, but to your arm, back, legs, and mind. If you're tense, it will affect the speed of your playing. And if there's one thing a drummer must do, it's stay perfectly in time always. But relax, no pressure. The drums are arguably the simplest instrument to play, but don't confuse simple with easy. They're simple to play because essentially all one has to do is hit the corresponding colored drum whenever a note passes the strike line. They're complex because you have to coordinate both your arms and your feet to play together. But we'll start with something easy. You should only have to use your arms for this exercise. We'll integrate the kick later. On easy drums, you will only have to use one limb at a time, like you just did. On medium, you will begin to use two limbs simultaneously, and on hard, you'll use all three. Now for the part that throws a lot of new drummers, using the kick pedal. You can use whichever foot feels most comfortable for using the kick pedal. Usually, it's the foot that matches your dominant hand. Many newer users treat the kick pedal like a gas pedal, lifting it up when they don't want to trigger a kick drum. Playing this way puts unnecessary stress on yourself and your kick pedal. Actually, the kick pedal only counts at the moment it makes contact, meaning that you can leave it down after triggering a kick drum if you wish. Between kicks, just let your foot relax. Don't hover your foot over the kick pedal. Just lift it again slightly before you need to trigger the kick drum. This shows the heel down or flat-footed method, in which the sole of the foot stays on the pedal all the time. You can also use the heel up method, with only the ball of your foot staying in contact with the pedal. Either way is fine, but your foot should always be in contact with the kick pedal. Eventually, you may want to switch up styles, depending on how rapidly you need to use the kick drum. Pretend the sole of your foot is glued to the pedal. It can help to take off your shoes and try it, but you should probably ask first if it's not your drum kit. This is what the kick drum note looks like on your highway. It can be by itself or at the same time as other drum notes. For starters, let's just use single drum hits. Try out this beat now. Remember to relax between kicks and to always keep your foot on the pedal. Looks like you're getting the hang of the kick pedal. Limb independence, getting the legs and arms to work apart from one another, is a hurdle every new drummer faces, but with practice, it'll become second nature. Like the other instruments, drums earn star power by completing star power phrases. Every note in the phrase must be hit in order to gain star power. Star power not only doubles your score multiplier, but gives you an even larger boost to your rock meter when hitting notes. Once your star power meter is at least half full, you can trigger it by hitting both cymbals at the same time. When you trigger star power, you'll get credit for hitting any notes you may have missed at the moment you trigger it. So don't be afraid of using it if you find yourself struggling or when you're on a streak. Give it a shot now. Fill up your meter at least halfway by hitting all the notes in the star power phrases, then trigger it. It can be tricky at first to fit triggering star power into your rhythm, But as a good rule of thumb, if you're wondering whether or not you should trigger it, just go for it. That should be everything you need to know to get started as a drummer. Try the next tutorial after you've spent some time in-game. It's important for the drummer to keep good time. This not only means showing up for practice when it's scheduled, but being the band's metronome. While you can get by just eyeballing the notes and hitting them as they cross the strike line, it's better to feel the music and anticipate what's going to happen. As a drummer, you'll find yourself playing a lot of repeated patterns, which makes them easy to anticipate. More often than not, these patterns will repeat each measure. Most songs you'll be playing are in 4/4 time. This means there are 4 beats in a measure. On your highway, the horizontal lines are beats. In this example, the hi-hats are quarter notes, meaning the measure is divided into quarters or fourths, with 1 hi-hat on each beat. If there were twice as many, they'd be 1/8 notes. 4 times as many would be 16th notes, and so on. For now, we'll keep it simple with quarter notes. The upshot of this is that you can keep in time more easily by counting off 4. Try it now with the basic rock beat. Count out loud or in your head. Just worry about the hi-hats at first, and then add in the kick and the snare one at a time. It's okay if you don't master it right away. If you find yourself losing track of the beat, focus on one part at a time to find it. Once you've got it down, add in the other drums. You can also listen to the other instruments to find the beat again, although typically they would be listening for you. On occasion, you may encounter a song that is in a different time signature than 4/4. But again, all you need to do is count the number of beats in each pattern, and then use that as your number to count to. Besides the different types of drums there are, one can also get different sounds out of a drum by changing how it's struck. This is an accent note. They can be played just like any other note if you wish. However, if you strike the drum harder than usual when playing them, they will explode and grant extra points. You shouldn't need to beat the stuffing out of your drums to trigger an accent note. Just strike it harder than normal. An accent note can be on any drum aside from the kick drum. If the accent note is on a cymbal or hi-hat, it can help to strike the cymbal higher up. Try it out now. Alright, using accent notes to differentiate between harder and softer strikes can add personality to your performance, as well as keeping your rock meter topped out. Occasionally, you may encounter notes that look like sustain notes, like this. No, you don't hold the stick on the drum. When a drum note has a sustain, hit the drum in time with the beginning of the note. Then continue to hit the drum rapidly in order to keep the sustain going. As long as you keep hitting it, you'll continue to get more points. If the sustain is also a star power note, you'll get extra star power as long as you keep the sustain going. The speed at which you strike it doesn't affect your score, only that you continue to strike it. Try to do it in time to the music so that you don't get off rhythm. Try these sustains out now. Remember, only the first hit needs to be in time, but it's helpful if the rest are as well. That's nearly everything most drummers will need to know. There's just one more game element to cover. Any drummer worth their salt will need to be able to improvise a beat, without just banging on random drums. Your improvisational opportunities will appear like this. This means that you are in a freeform section. While in freeform, you can play whatever you like or nothing at all. If your rock meter isn't already full, you can give it a slight boost by improvising. However, it's a good idea to try to stay in time with the song so that you don't find yourself creating a triplet fill in 7/9 time and then have to snap back to 4/4 when the song begins. Try to play something that makes sense and doesn't irritate the other band members. Listen to their instruments to stay in time and play along with them. Okay, I think that's long enough. Another mark of a good drummer is knowing when you're overplaying. The beginning of each song, before your first note appears, it's also a chance to play whatever you want, but you won't get a rock meter boost. That's everything you should need to play the drums successfully. After you've had some more experience, come back and check out the advanced drum tutorials for some techniques that will help you take your drumming to the next level. On higher difficulties, you have to play more and more of the drum hits in a song. Often that means playing rapid series of notes. When you have a long string of hits on one drum, like this, that's a drum roll, a series of fast repeated notes. You'll have a much easier time playing a roll by using both hands on one drum. When doing a long drum roll with both hands, it can be easy to get out of sync with the song. If the song is in 4/4 time, as most songs are, emphasize every fourth note to keep yourself in time. Try out this roll now. You'll only have to use the snare, which is where most rolls occur. Nicely done. Long rolls on one drum are the easiest, but other versions can come up. When you have a roll with an unusual cadence, try to see the number of hits in each portion of it and count them off as you hit them. When switching a roll from one drum to another, it can be easy to knock the sticks together by accident. To prevent this from occurring, plan ahead a little to make sure that when the last note of the roll on the first drum is being played by one hand, the other hand is already positioned over the second drum. This can be very tricky to get the hang of, but there's nothing quite so rewarding as a roll across the toms finished off with a cymbal crash. Try this one now and see for yourself. Solid. Mastering drum rolls is one of the skills that define an excellent drummer. Drumming can be quite a workout. Like any exercise, it's important to stretch beforehand and to warm up properly. Here are a few stretches that will get your blood flowing and allow you to drum with extreme efficiency. None of these stretches should feel painful. If that happens, stop right away. Your wrists do a lot of the work in drumming. Let's start with those. Pull back on your wrists. Do this for both of them, and then try pushing them, again for both hands. Your arms and back also need attention. This stretch will take care of both. Put both your arms overhead. Grab your left wrist with your right hand and bend to the right. Then grab your right wrist with your left hand and bend to the left. Feel free to use any other stretches that you find helpful. Once you've stretched, warm up by playing some easier songs, or playing a lower difficulty rating, then working your way up to the tough stuff. Also have some water handy so you can stay hydrated in the middle of a long set. If your vigorous drum playing has caused you to put a crack in a stick, Get rid of it and get a new one. Nothing can ruin your day quite like a piece of splintered wood flying off a drumstick. And for that matter, you really shouldn't need to beat your drums so hard that it or your sticks are becoming damaged. Play with confidence, not with force. On that note, remember not to slouch over the drums. This can hurt both your back and your technique. If you take care of yourself and your equipment, you'll get better as you practice instead of just getting sore. So, you ready to step up to the next level and tackle the double bass drum? When you see this icon next to a song, that means that it supports the Expert Plus difficulty. Expert Plus is most accurate to the original song and includes double bass drums as well as ghost notes. Ghost notes are very light hits that can be difficult to hear, but help the drummer stay in rhythm. These are usually omitted from the Expert note track, but in Expert Plus, everything's in there. If you're using the newest Guitar Hero drum kit, simply plug one pedal into each jack in the back of the kit. If you're using the Guitar Hero World Tour drum kit, you will need to plug a Y splitter into the jack in the rear of the drum kit. Then plug each pedal into the other end of the splitter and you're all set. You can get crazy and use as many splitters and drum pedals as you like, but it won't help much if you only have 2 feet. The double bass pedals can be used with any difficulty in any song, but only some songs have the Expert Plus difficulty, which will require you to do very fast kick pedal pattern. Try this kick pattern now with the double bass pedals. Make no mistake, Expert Plus is really, really difficult. Nicely done. Having all 4 limbs work in concert is very tough, but is necessary to take your drumming to the extreme. You can always practice your double kick technique anywhere by tapping your feet on the floor. You should be sure to do this at appropriate times, though. As the person who fronts the band and delivers the song's memorable lyrics, the vocalist is the most important member of the band. Fortunately, it's likely you know enough to succeed as a singer already. If you already know how the song goes, just sing along and you should be fine. However, that's not going to help much if the microphone can't pick up your singing. So let us begin by setting up the microphone. It probably looks more or less like this. Hold the microphone close to your mouth, but don't actually stick it into your mouth. Also, point the top of the microphone at your mouth so you're singing into the top rather than over the top or into the side. Try singing or just talking into it now at a regular volume to make sure your levels are good. Feel free to ululate with abandon. If the mic is not picking up your singing, you can raise its sensitivity by pressing this button on your controller during gameplay. If your voice sounds loud and distorted, turn down the sensitivity with this button or move the mic further away. You can also adjust the mic volume through the audio mixer in the options menu. You can also use any standard mic stand to hold the mic, and then you can play an instrument and sing if you're that good. Next, we will discuss how to adjust the lyrics display to best suit you. Vocals require an important skill which is not required of guitarists or drummers: reading. Fortunately, there are a few vocal highway styles which can help make this easier: scrolling, static, and karaoke. In scrolling mode, lyrics move along the screen, aligned with the pitch guides while your comet stays in one place. This mode is good for getting your timing and pitch to match with the original singer. In static mode, lyrics stay in place, along with the guides, while your comet moves across the screen. This mode is better for being able to read the lyrics if you don't know them already. In karaoke mode, the lyrics take up the entire highway, so they are very easy to read, but the comet or pitch guides are not displayed, and you must rely on your ears to help you match the pitch of the singer. This mode is good if you know how the melody goes, but have trouble remembering or reading the lyrics. We'll be using scrolling in these tutorials, but you can change the lyric display at any time through your options menu. You may find that you want to change the display mode depending on your level of familiarity with the song. All lyric display types are scored exactly the same, so it's up to your personal preference which one to use. That should cover the lyrics. Next, we'll focus on pitch and timing. Have you ever listened to a recording of yourself and thought, "That's not how I sound"? This is because the bone conduction of your skull can make your voice inside your head sound lower pitched than it does to listeners outside your head. Since you can't easily remove your skull, a helpful comment is provided which represents your pitch for you. When you sing a higher pitch, the comment goes up. Sing lower and the comment goes down. Try it out now. Just do a little "ooh." You may have noticed that if the comment goes off the top of the screen, it will wrap around to the bottom and vice versa. This is because you can sing the notes in any octave. For example, if the note is a middle C, like this, ah, you can sing it low, like this, ah, or high, like this, ah. As long as it's the same note, they will all be scored the same. Not everyone can hit those extreme high notes or low notes, so just hit the note in an octave where you can sing comfortably. While singing, the key to scoring is to get the comment to line up with these pitch guides. While it's good to match the words to the song, you are only scored on the timing and pitch of what you sing. If you see that the comment is off pitch, let your voice gradually rise or fall in pitch to match the guide. Resist jumping between pitches to guess what the correct pitch is, or the note will be done by the time you find out. Try matching this pitch now. Usually notes are much shorter than that, so if you know the melody ahead of time, you'll be ready. I'll show you with this song I've been working on. I'm still working on the lyrics, so I'll sing it first so you know how it goes. Then you can try. La 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 la. 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 Now you try. Remember, if the pitch is out of your range, you can sing it in any octave you like. La 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 la. 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 Not bad. Have you heard this song before? Looks like you've got the hang of the basics. In the following lesson, we'll address how scoring works. A song's lyrics are divided into phrases, which can be one or more words. As you sing the notes in a phrase accurately, this meter will fill up. When the phrase completes, you will receive points and a rating based on how full the meter was when the phrase finished. From best to worst, the ratings are excellent, solid, average, rough, and sloppy. If it's excellent, your score multiplier will be increased by 1, up to a maximum of 4, and you'll get a boost to the rock meter. If it's less than solid, your multiplier will be dropped back down to 1, and you'll lose some of your rock meter. When your phrase meter is full and your phrase is not yet over, don't stop singing. You have a guaranteed excellent rating at this point, but any further notes you hit will add to the score you receive when the phrase is complete. The more singing that is involved in the phrase, the more points you can possibly get for singing well. La 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 la. Higher difficulties will judge your performance more strictly, but you'll receive a higher score per phrase. Sometimes you may notice words missing in the middle of phrases. Don't worry about why they're missing. Just ad-lib your own words. Be creative. There's no penalty for any vocals done outside of a pitch guide, so feel free to blather on when there are no vocals to sing. Just like the other instruments, vocalists are able to gain and use star power. When a phrase looks like this, that means it's a star power phrase. Complete the phrase with an excellent rating to earn the star power. Also, during a star power phrase, any notes you hit after your phrase meter is full will instantly grant you extra star power. So really work those star power phrases for all they're worth. When your star power meter is half full, it's ready to be used. Star power instantly doubles your score multiplier and gives you an even larger boost to your rock meter when you complete phrases. In order to use star power, press any of these buttons on your controller. Or if you don't want to have to hold on to the controller, you can enable double tapping to trigger star power in the options menu. If you find yourself triggering star power by accident, you can disable the double tap in your options menu and just stick to the controller buttons. La 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 la. You can use star power when you're doing really well to get a tremendous score multiplier, or when you're doing poorly and need to get the crowd back on your side. That's pretty much all you need to know to succeed as a vocalist. After you've been playing a while, come back for explanations of some of the other features you will encounter. Sometimes the pitch of your singing isn't important, and only the timing will matter, such as speaking, screaming, or rapping parts. Those notes will look like this. You can sing, speak, or shout these lyrics in any way you want, as long as you make yourself heard. Try it out now. Just match the timing of the words. Pitch is not important. One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Spoken word lyrics can be in the same phrase as regular sung lyrics and are scored equally. Finally, when you see this, you're in luck. This is a Freeform section. While the comment is in the Freeform section, you can do whatever you want, or nothing at all. It's up to you. However, you'll get a boost to your rock meter if you just go nuts and make something up. If your improvisation is in tune with the song, you'll get an even higher boost. Listen to the song to get an idea of what to try. Whistle or hum along with the guitarist, scat the bass line, or beatbox the drum part. Give it a shot now. There you go. Remember, there's no penalty no matter what you do, so you should take advantage of any Freeform section you see. That covers just about all the mechanics you'll encounter as a vocalist. So next, we'll address techniques you can use to improve your singing. There are some techniques that you can use to not only become a better singer in the game, but a better singer in general. Make no mistake, singing can be hard work, so it's important to be aware of your body and use it properly to do really well. Breathing is important for a lot of reasons, like staying alive. So it's something that feels automatic and comes naturally. Breathing for singing takes a little more thought, however. Singing takes a lot more air than simply talking does. Most of the time, people will breathe shallowly, filling only some of their lungs. As a singer, you need to take advantage of all your lungs' potential by breathing deeply. Firstly, stand or sit up straight. When you're hunched over, your chest will be compressed and you won't have as much space to fill with air. When inhaling, imagine that you're breathing into your stomach. While not anatomically correct, it can help you get the idea of using your diaphragm to fill your lungs with air. Your diaphragm is the muscle below your lungs that works together with your ribs to expand your lungs and suck in air. Do this regularly and you may find that with time you can increase your lung capacity to get even more air. Use your diaphragm also to push out the air. Push it out from below. Don't squeeze it out from the sides. In short, sing from your gut, not from your chest. You'll find you can get more volume and better control this way. Ideally, you should never be holding your breath, but instead pacing your breathing properly so that you're ready to exhale right when the next phrase begins, and so that you have enough air to make it through the whole phrase. Another important consideration besides air is water. Be sure to drink lots of room temperature water, not too cold so it doesn't shock and stiffen up your vocal cords. If you are sure to take care of your lungs and vocal cords, you may be surprised what you discover you can do. Singing along with a song can be pretty easy when you're already very familiar with it, and often very difficult if you've never even heard it before. So naturally, a good way to get better at any song is to listen to them. First, try a lower difficulty and experiment with different vocal highway display styles to make the lyrics easier to read. Try playing through the songs on other instruments to get an idea how the melody goes and what the choruses are. You can even try singing along when playing other instruments. If you can, play the song in a car or in a room where you can sing along without worrying about what your score is. Also, when playing the game with others, remind them that it's good form to let the vocalist pick most of the songs. After all, the vocalist has to read the lyrics, and familiar songs are going to be much easier than unknown ones. Put your own spin on a song. While you do need to match pitch and timing to score highly, take advantage of the fact that you can sing in any octave by applying your own personal style to the inflection of the words. If you find yourself anxious about singing in general when anyone else is around, congratulations! You have joined the company of pretty much every single performer in the world. This simply means that you care enough about your performance to be concerned about doing a good job. Fortunately, this is a pretty safe environment to practice in. No one will ask for their money back if you don't get a high score. So ham it up. If you put on a performance and pretend like any mistake you made didn't even happen, then your audience will forget it too. If you shake your head and curse yourself every time you flub a line, your audience will pay more attention to your mistake. This advice is good for any sort of performance, not just singing. This is all the vocal instruction I have to offer. Now get out there and knock 'em dead. Playing as a solo act is fine and all, but to really make it big, you'll need to get together with a band. Lots of bands started out as a group of friends just jamming together. Some of those bands ended up as a group of ex-friends endlessly suing each other and ragging on each other in interviews. There's no ego meter in the game, so that friendship stuff is all on you. But I can at least help you with scoring as a band. While playing in a band, you'll all need to cooperate and work together in order to get chart-topping scores. This is the band multiplier. It's applied to every band member's score, so naturally, you'll want to keep it as high as possible. The more people you have in your band, the higher the multiplier can get. Like your individual multiplier, it's affected by streaks and star power, but in a slightly different way. When a single band member is on a streak, their personal multiplier goes up. When multiple band members are on a streak together, it adds 1 to the band multiplier for every person on a streak. So, if 2 members are both streaking, the multiplier goes up by 2. 3 players streaking adds 3, and so on. Star power affects the band multiplier in the same way. You gotta be using it together. So save up and combine your star power to really send those scores through the roof. Remember, it's not enough for one person to be on a streak or using star power alone. Another band member must also be doing the same thing for it to count. So in a 4-player band with all 4 members streaking and using star power, you'd guess that the multiplier tops out at 8. And you'd be right, if it weren't for band moments. There are parts of some songs that are crucial for every member to get just right. These are called band moments, and they look like this. If any member of the band misses a note during these moments, there's no bonus. But if everyone hits all their notes, 1 will be added to the multiplier for every additional band member you have. 2 people will add 1, 3 people will add 2, and a full 4 people will add 3. This means that the maximum possible band multiplier when everyone's on a streak using star power and nails the band moment is 11. Of course, the more people you have in your band, the more difficult it will be to nail a band moment, but the reward increases as well. If you can top out your band multiplier, good for you. This is pretty hard to pull off. In short, try not to miss any notes and coordinate your star power so that everyone has it active at the same time. One thing that will help you and your band members save up star power is star power overflow. Playing alone, if your star power meter is maxed out and you complete a star power phrase, you get nothing. But if you're playing in a band, any star power earned when your meter is full is divided among the other members. That way, no star power is wasted, unless everybody's meters are already full. And if you all have full star power meters, what are you waiting for? Trigger that star power. You can use this to back each other up and help out players who are having a hard time hitting star power phrases themselves. It will sometimes happen that a song is too much for one of your band members, and they'll fail out. Though it can feel like it sometimes, this is not actually the end of the world. The remaining players can win over the audience by continuing to play well. The more difficult the active player's parts are, the faster the meter will fill. Different instruments and difficulties will contribute different amounts to this meter too. Hitting notes while using star power will make this meter fill up even faster. If, heaven forbid, you're the one who blows it, take advantage of your time out to listen to the other members so you're on beat when you jump back in. Every time someone fails out, it will become more difficult to revive them as the audience starts to lose its patience. And if multiple players fail out at once, it's going to be really difficult to get them back. You can always try again though. Don't waste time assigning blame. Leave that to the critics. Each instrument has its unique role to play in the band. The lead guitarist can get high bass scores due to all the chords they encounter. The vocalist can maintain streaks for long periods between phrases to keep the band multiplier up. Also, they can raise their rock meter with freeform sections. The long strings of single notes that bassists typically play also make it easier to get streak. The bassist also contributes more to the revival meter when another player fails out. The drummer contributes a large bass score, as well as maintaining the rhythm that keeps the whole band in sync. That's pretty much all I can help you with playing in a band. Remember, if you can all agree on a name, you pretty much can do anything.